Let's call now on our man in Washington, John Gizzi, to talk for just a second about that report before we get to the spending vote expected in the House. John, here we are at the end of Democratic reign in the Senate. Upon reflection, was this Senate report just a parting shot politically? Will anything of substance emerge from that Senate intelligence report?
I don't think so. And when I listened to Josh Earnest when we were at the White House yesterday for the briefing, the administration seemed to take every effort to put the report behind it. He did not dispute John Carl of ABC when John repeatedly pointed out to Josh that the president's own trusted CIA director, John Brennan, said that the tactics used 10 years ago were probably pivotal to the capture and killing of Osama bin Laden. In addition, it's been pointed out numerous times, including on this program, that no matter what the polemics are of this, whatever the condemnation, there will be no prosecutions. Josh Earnest repeated that the other day, pointing out senior prosecutors from the Justice Department have taken a look at this several years ago and decided not to prosecute. My guess is this story will cause some soul searching, some reflections on torture. It may lead to Senate guidelines on just what intelligence operatives can and can't do. But that will be it.
All right, a little more than 3 minutes remain. Let's shift our focus now to the House. Let's listen to the House Speaker, John Boehner, talking about this omnibus bill that's been put together and the vote that's contemplated later today. Here's John Boehner.
It took this long to put this bill together. When you look at the number of agreements that had to be struck on funding levels, on riders, and other provisions, there's a lot in this bill. And the appropriators did, frankly, a marvelous job. I wish it had been done last week, but it wasn't. And so here we are. I'm proud of the work that they've done. Look forward to it passing with bipartisan majorities in the House and Senate in the coming days.
Brother Gizzi, the word we get is they believe they'll have this vote this afternoon at 3. They're prepared to lose perhaps as many as 60 conservatives in the House Republican Conference. Doing the math, that would be relying on Democrats for its passage. Do you think that's going to happen today?
I don't think it will be up to 60, JD, although I will not dismiss any amount of people who leave because they speak for a lot of grassroots voters who gave Republicans their largest majority in the House since 1928. That's got to be taken into consideration. That said, and I said this on Monday, when I spoke to Congressman Luke Messer, the chairman of the House Republican Policy Committee, he told me exactly what would happen at this point, which is an omnibus package with slimmed down funding for the Department of Homeland Security, something that the president's press secretary noted, but certainly not defunding the department and allowing government to run. Why? Because what trumps all is what Congressman Messer said. No one wants to revisit a government shutdown.
2 minutes remain, John. This term government shutdown, really, the government does not shut down, quote, non-essential personnel, but the left so owns this term that it just sends the Republicans fleeing, even despite the massive electoral win in the midterms.
It certainly does. And remember something, you know, as an old veteran of the media and a former elected official, JD, the power of images. Every time the quote-unquote shutdown comes up, one sees on national news the nation's parks, one of its most popular tourist sites, being closed down and guards turning tourists away. And that resonates powerfully. In your own state of Arizona in 1995, this happened, and even when then Governor Fife Symington offered to have volunteers and let the state run the parks in Arizona, the image was still projected. I might add, Governor Symington at the time told you and your colleagues, hang firm and you'll get the cuts. They didn't do it. But the images are quite mighty, and that's really what powers and fuels the term shutdown, and why Republicans weren't going to go in that direction.
And that's why we're so honored to have you, Brother Gizzi, with your encyclopedic memory of what has happened both politically and historically, offering some perspective and some past history about previous shutdown debates, shutdown arguments. John, we thank you for your time. Look forward to having you back again. It's worth noting that next hour, Grover Norquist will join us with an inventory of what's good and what's bad in the omnibus or the ominous spending bill. And now, America's Forum steps aside for this news.